What I do want to say, Greg, is there are a lot of phony baloney reforms being thrown around that are going to make things worse. So let's look at the war that we're in. You have a group of people, and this is why AI is so scary, and they're trying to centralize control. And what we want is I want a building wealth reset. So I want decentralization, but in a way that creates far more wealth and takes us back. We have great law in the United States. We have a constitution. We ought to enforce it. So what I want is enforcement of our existing constitutional laws, and what a difference it could make if we could decentralize economic and political power and do it before AI is the death of all of us. But what you often hear is the solution to our problem is sound money. Let's just put us all on a gold standard or use gold and silver as a currency. Now, I want to just make sure everybody understands that if you look at the last 20 years, as they've stolen the 21 trillion, the central bankers have accumulated and cornered the market for most of the gold. So if we depend on gold and silver as our currency, we're going to have to go begging to the central bankers to sell us gold and silver, which means we're going to have to sell our land to get some gold and silver. You're going to put You never want to put your enemy in charge of controlling a scarce resource and legislating that you need it. Okay? Now, what that argues for, since I think they're pushing the sound money solution, I do think that that's going to put a real floor under the price of gold and silver. But what I have to tell you is beware any solutions that say shut down the Fed and let's go to gold and silver, because you're gonna make them more powerful. You're gonna make them 10 times more powerful than they are today.
Give me control of the money, and I care not who makes the laws.
Right. And so everybody, the other day I was talking to a politician and he said, we've got to kill the Fed. And I said, you better get that $21 trillion before you kill it, because if you kill it before you get the 21 trillion, they get to keep the 21 trillion and you can't hold them accountable for it. You can't seize their assets. You can't, so be careful that you kill it. And if you kill it and you turn around and you're under the control of the IMF, the BIS, and the Bank of England, who have no constitutional obligations to you, you are going to be a slave. It's game over. So before you kill something, you better understand what you're replacing it with and how you're replacing it. Now, our problem is not the Fed. Our problem is a debt-based currency. If we were issuing greenbacks from the Treasury, we wouldn't have 35 trillion. There's no reason for us to have debt. We had debt because we said, okay, we're going to use debt to generate the currency, but we didn't have to do it that way. You can, now every president who's tried to issue greenbacks from the Treasury has been assassinated or had to endure an assassination attempt. Andrew Jackson from Tennessee survived and lived, and canceled the central bank after he took the bullet and lived. So be very, I say audit the Fed, get the $21 trillion back and move away from a debt-based currency, but whatever you do, don't cancel institutions that have constitutional obligations to you as a citizen and are subject to the laws and regulations of the United States, and replace them with an international organization that has sovereign immunity and has no obligations to you. Then you're asking for, you're asking for serious depopulation.
A lot of people will come out and say, oh, no, just stop the Fed, just go ahead and stop. They don't realize what they're talking about. And you're like, whoa, hold on a minute, wait. Not until you do a lot of work. We could have them issuing greenbacks and forget that, Federal Reserve note and have the Federal Reserve greenback, and it would be instant money, right? Right.
You could basically, if you could tomorrow govern the New York Fed, the Treasury, and the Board of Governors at the Fed, you could basically evolve this system in a way that would work wonderfully. And the states could also do gold and silver. You could have a bifurcation, both a non-debt-based currency at the federal level and gold and silver. And I for one would vote for private currencies and community currencies, because I think you get more optimization, less power for the Federal Reserve bankers. But I think we need a bottom-up economy. We need to rebuild the bottom-up economy. So, I would go to a non-debt based currency system, treasury dominant with the people's representatives accountable, and allow the states to do gold and silver, and allow private currencies and community currencies.